your debit card. It's your money and your choice. To learn more about the account that's right for you, stop by one of our offices or visit us at jcsbank.com. Jewett City Savings Bank, member FDIC.
Family owned and operated. That's something you don't hear too often anymore. Highway Campers of Plainfield is now 3 generations in and going strong. If you're looking to upgrade or get your first RV, contact the family that knows RVs, Highway Campers. They'll walk you through the process of finding the right RV for you and can even finance it for you. Visit www.highwaycampers.com and find your home on wheels. After all, home is where you park it. Highway Campers is a proud supporter of Griswold Youth Football.
You buy better.
Better with Burns.
Much better.
So much better with Burns. The right insurance at the right price. You buy better with Burns.
You buy better at Burns. You buy better.
The Burns Agency knows your insurance needs can change with almost every season. The snowblowers get tucked away, and the motorcycles, boats, and jet skis come out to play. Give yourself a minute. Stop. Think about what new or changing exposures are happening to you. Then call the Burns Agency. Over the phone, in person, or online, we're here for all your policy needs. Or better yet, give us a chance to earn your business with our top-notch customer service, strong coverage options, and unbeatable pricing. The Burns Agency, proudly serving Eastern Connecticut since 1932.
You buy better.
Better with Burns.
Much better.
So much better with Burns. The right insurance at the right price.
You
buy better with Burns.
buy better at Burns. You buy better.
Hi, Miranda Mahoney here from Griswold Pride, your local drug prevention coalition. So, marijuana, now legal in Connecticut, but there are some things you really should know. It's only legal for people 21 and older. And always, always secure your cannabis products like edibles, vape pens, dabs, and of course marijuana in a locking storage container and keep it out of sight and of reach of kids. Kids don't know the difference between a THC edible gummy and a candy gummy you might buy at a store. There's many resources available at grizzlepride.org or our Facebook and Instagram pages. And parents, you are your child's greatest influence. Talk early, talk often about the risks of substance use on their developing brains. Check out grizzlepride.org. grizzlepride.org. grizzlepride.org.
Your community radio.
Live from Main Street.
Don't change anything. I love your show just the way it is.
Mike Minarski and Paul Lash in the morning. And 80s all day and night. Your community radio.
SNSN.
Your community radio.
Live from Main Street.
Mike Minarski and Paul Lash in the morning and 80s all day and night.
SNSN.
Like they always say things that aren't stupid usually. And when they are stupid, it's funny.
God, I'm fumbling around already. Dropping things.
But it figures you're all thumbs, Mike.
Sometimes I am. It just seems like a lot of times I can't get my hands to work. They just don't want to do what I want them to do.
I've noticed it's only when you try to touch things. Otherwise, they work just fine.
Generally, that's usually what I need them for, but no. I don't know what it is. So anyway, how you doing, guys?
Yay!
It's Friday.
Retiree Row representing.
Retiree Row. Oh, speaking of which, if that's the case.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Man.
Here's what I forgot.
He's going to put us in prison outfits.
Memory, too.
No.
He's going to put a background behind it.
Next week we should come dressed as the Blues Brothers. Dark sunglasses, fedora.
There you go.
I've been waiting to do this.
Oh, he's doing the background.
Yeah.
Yep, there he is. Yeah, it's you're sitting right in front of Statler and Waldorf right now. One of the Muppets. Two of the Muppets.
Shut up!
Shout out to the Muppets. Scotso says good morning. Victoria says good morning.
Morning.
Good morning, everybody.
So we've extended the show on Friday now to 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
Unless Mike gets hungry.
Yeah. No, we do it every day till 10.
My stomach's grumbling as
already.
Yeah.
See you later.
It's like I want a waffle.
Paul's like, you can make it. You can make it.
I already ate, so it doesn't bother me.
Huh?
I eat breakfast, so I'm hungry.
He's antisocial. He doesn't partake of breakfast when we go over
He's
there.
a flippin' superstar, isn't he?
Yeah, he is.
Jesus. Well, I did this. Well,
Give
I
him a
did that.
little bit of fame, and what happens? His head gets big, and blah 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 blah.
Well, you don't understand. You know, you come in here and we give you a lot of leeway to do your, to help do this show. Right? A lot of leeway.
I appreciate that.
Wait, what's a leeway?
I don't know. Let me
About
check.
10, 15 pounds.
Let me check my text messages. Probably get an answer that way. So don't we give him a lot of leeway?
We do,
Yeah.
We could hold him accountable, but
I'm
instead
not-
we
yeah.
just give him leeway.
Yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and kind of let it go. Until you screw up again, Paul.
Okay.
Yeah.
You screw up again, and
Will there be leeway then?
there'll be no more. Because you're not ethical.
Bunch of bullies.
It's not ethical. It's just not.
No.
Is that the same
Sorry.
thing as a henway?
I think so. Good morning, Kelly. Good morning, Laura.
Hello, hello.
That's right. We've been calling people out. Like if you are here in the room, in our chat area, say something. Make sure we know, that you're actually a live human being and not a bot.
Say something. I'm giving up on you.
Laura says Jim Barney looks like Statler. He kind of does.
Oh, don't pick on the poor guy.
What, Jim?
Yeah.
I don't pick on Jim. Jim was here yesterday. I love Jim. He was here visiting
he
for
was
about a
here
half an hour. Yeah.
You
He
need to
stops in
post
from
a
time to time.
side-by-side comparison picture. Do a poll. Statler or no?
Statler or no? I don't know. Do you think Statler's done a good job?
Statler?
Statler. He sits in that
I
balcony.
don't. I never watched the Muppets.
See, I love the Muppets.
I never watched
I absolutely love the
It was-
Muppets. Yeah.
It was at that time where, my kids were growing up. So
Especially when John Denver was on.
John Denver,
Laura says Paul is
Take-
definitely Waldorf.
Waldorf. Take me home, country road.
There you go.
Scott Fryer says, giving us the definition of leeway. It's a sideways drift of a ship to the desired direction. Navy stuff, ... And
Oh.
now you know.
I'm glad. That's a real nice.
Hashtag.
That's a nautical,
If you know, you know.
very good nautical explanation of what
That's right.
leeway means.
It depends on the way.
Victoria says, I was half expecting to have Jim bust in yesterday because we had Democratic candidate for the 18th senatorial district, Farouk Rajab, on yesterday.
They could have wrestled.
They could have wrestled, yeah.
Yeah.
And in this corner,
What you gonna do, brother?
I'm not going to tell you how I feel about that, brother.
Not gonna tell you anything.
Polina likes the background. It's true. Look at it.
Isn't it cool? And it changes color.
No, he doesn't mean that. He means the picture, of Statler and Waldorf.
Ah.
See, let's give you the full screen effect there. There you go.
Whoa.
Yeah. There's Chris and Paul on retiree row. Yep. We're waiting for you guys to start mocking, going.
See, I don't know the Muppets. I can't mock them because I don't know who they are.
Statler and Waldorf
I know they're the old guys.
They're two old men that would sit in the balcony.
Yeah.
And they would heckle.
Yeah.
And usually they were very funny.
My favorite character was the girl in the band.
Oh, mine was
Biggie.
no. She annoyed me actually. And Kermit really wasn't my favorite.
You
either.
like Beaker.
I kind of did, yeah. Yeah. Me. And Swedish Chef.
Yep.
Mork. What about you guys? Who was your favorite Muppet? Well, I guess you didn't figure that conversation this morning, did you? But it's part of pop culture from when most of us grew up. So
That's right.
Howdy Doody.
well, that's going back to the Stone Age, Paul.
Yeah.
Charlie McCarthy.
Animal was a little rambunctious,
Yeah.
but
Animal was
we
cool.
gave him leeway.
Huh?
We gave him leeway.
Yeah, Animal got a lot of leeway.
Yeah.
When it came to the band, the Muppets and everything. Polino says Animal. Oh, look at that. Scott says Animal. Polino says Animal. Animal. Ah! All right, so changing subject. Laura said it was nice hearing from one of the candidates I'm not familiar with, although I felt like he avoided directly answering some of the questions. Typical politician. That I'm assuming.
Which questions would you have nailed him down on, Laura?
Yeah, and who are we speaking of specifically, if you want to say that? And I doubt it would be Heather Summers because I think we're all familiar with Heather Summers.
Yeah. She shoots from the hip.
And I'm sure it wouldn't be Brian Lanu because we're all familiar pretty much with Brian Lanu.
Yep.
So there would leave two other people. Oh, okay. She said Rajab. Okay. Victoria says agreed. So who knows? I mean, it's still very early. I mean, they still have a couple more weeks to go ahead and get their messages across. Oh, even though we're in this building now, the Peaches, you still hear Peaches on Main Street, blaring his music. Oh, yeah. You can't get away from it. There's no way you can get away from it. Paul.
Well, all the candidates all they talk about is road versus weed.
Well, they didn't bring it up until I did, actually.
I know, but all the candidates, all the ones you see running in the state level, no matter if you're running for dog catcher.
Well, these folks are state level, and
they also talk about how poor the economy is right now. None of them have a solution on how to fix it, but they all talk about it.
No, what they say is they did this. They voted to, reduce health care. They did this and they did that. They did crap.
Well, they voted for it. It didn't help anybody, but they voted for it.
Healthcare is, they talk about drugs being cheaper. A year away.
Yeah.
Everybody thinks, they voted for cost of drugs.
So what's going to happen is Big Pharma is going to bump the prices way, way up, and then they're going to reduce the prices when the bill takes effect and lower it back down to what they were charging you anyways.
Exactly. Yeah, so they're all,
Retail 101.
They're all a bunch of BSs.
Dave says, I love how they take credit for tax cuts.
Exactly.
Yet taxes are higher than ever.
Everybody is I did this and I did that. He's absolutely wrecked. I mean, like I said, even you got the dog catcher saying, I did this.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know why they do it? Because nobody calls them out on it.
Yeah.
Nobody says, wait a minute. Tell me which taxes you cut and tell me how I'm better off today than I was a year ago.
Laura's favorite Muppet or Sweetums. Is she the one from the band?
I think so.
And Animal. Oh. So there's this thing in chat rooms that if you don't talk and you just lurk, you're called a troll. Yeah. There are plenty out there.
We have
trolls not hearing from. Yeah.
Who's trolling?
Are they under the bridge? I
don't know.
Troll side under the
Say
bridge.
hello. Type in anything just so we know you are actually there. Because what we're trying to gauge is how many, because social media services will throw bots into your different rooms and chats and stuff like that. So,
yeah.
Sweetums was the giant monster. Oh, okay. The actual human size monster.
I think he was bigger than human size.
Yeah, he was huge.
Whatever.
All right. Somebody says anything. That's good. That's, you know what?
There you go.
I'm glad you did that.
Thanks
Facebook user.
Thanks for taking us literally.
Well, it's nice because you want to know there's actually people there.
Yeah.
And not just somebody that or people there. Oh, yeah. And that was Court Kinney, by the way.
Wow, there's an echo.
There's an echo.
Gotcha.
So thanks, Court. I'm glad you're there.
Yeah.
Hi, Court.
So if anybody has any questions for Ask Chris Anything, it's Friday.
Yep.
Chris on Retiree Row. You can have a question for Chris. Can be anything. Chris, why don't you go ahead and describe what it is you do?
Yeah, you can ask me anything you like. I may not know the answer, but I'll be more than happy to make something up for you.
So if you do have a question, it's usually pretty fun, and you never know what road Chris is going to take. So
I have a question for Chris.
All right, go ahead.
Uh-oh.
What state has the most math teachers?
You slurred there.
What state has the most math teachers?
Which state has the most math teachers?
Yeah.
Are you going through all the states?
I am. Alphabetically. Let's say Florida.
Way off.
State of confusion.
Yeah. Massachusetts.
Wow.
You know, that one rang through my head, but I said, no, even Paul wouldn't go that low.
Yeah.
I beg your forgiveness. Paul will go that low.
Good morning, Tim. Tim says politicians acquire a unique skill in how to dance around questions without giving a solid answer.
They actually teach it in college.
I think so.
Yeah, poli-sci majors learn how to
Do they
lie
really?
professionally.
I think when
Do they learn how to lie, or do they learn how to kind of like say things without answering or actually changing the subject during the answer?
Well, they learn how to speak nothing.
Well, you know, I think they're like any other trade. When you're elected as a legislature and you get into Congress or the Senate or some office, there's always an incumbent in there that's been in there for like 30 friggin' years, right?
Mm-hmm.
They kind
Like
of
Schumer.
yeah, and they kind of teach them how to become a politician.
Yeah,
and it don't take long. You know, within a year, they're all acting like a bunch of politicians, talking out of their you know what.
Yeah.
Well, are there any poli-sci majors out in our group today that could clarify whether or not they are taught to mislead or misrepresent answers?
Well, speaking of misrepresenting answers,
okay,
we have some Ask Chris Anything questions.
Ooh.
And there's more than one.
Oh, okay. Take them from the top, Mike.
Here we go. Chris.
Hey.
Are we in for a bad winter this year?
Well, according to the Farmer's Almanac, it's supposed to be a fairly mild winter this year. Although, you know, this is New England, so the snow might start falling by 10 o'clock today and keep snowing probably for the next 3 weeks.
Which Farmer's Almanac year did you read?
Yeah.
My goodness.
You know how I can tell whether or not it's going to be a busy winter? It depends on when I bring my snowblower out. You know, because typically I don't bring it out until the snow is so high that I have to shovel out the shed just so I can get the snowblower out.
And that would indicate a busy winter.
And that's a busy winter.
No, I would say if we got a lot of people buying them, that's a sign. If people are buying snow blowers, that means they're not going to have any snow.
I like the ones that buy a snowblower and then return it in the spring and buy a lawnmower with the money and then return it in the fall and then buy a snowblower.
You know, I never thought of that.
That's
a good idea. Say it did work.
Yeah. Home Depot, they'll return anything.
Even if you bought it at Walmart.
That's right.
All right, your next question. Donna asks.
Hi, Donna.
First, he says, "Good morning, Chris.
Good morning, Donna.
Who's going to be the next British Prime Minister?"
Ooh, you know that
they don't last very long.
You know, there's
About
a lot
week
of
and they're gone.
There's a lot of really good candidates. I lean towards one of two, either Winston Churchill or Margaret Thatcher. You know, it all depends on
Very
how the
popular
voting
choices.
goes. Yes,
Very popular
Yes.
choices. Or John Rowland.
yes.
He might show up. He's taking English, you know,
Why?
Cockney style English. And
Gary Trudeau.
yeah.
Yeah, he's
Gary. Or Jerry. That's Gary's twin brother, I guess.
So why did she ever leave anyway? What did she do? I mean, we know the
Margaret
other guy.
Thatcher. I think
No.
it's 'cause she died.
The other guy left because he was involved with some kind of sex.
You talking about the latest one?
Yeah, what did she do?
I don't know. I think
She
she
was
just
the one
wrote a
that
bunch of
was
stuff.
Oh,
She's part of Pizzagate.
oh man.
She probably read all this stuff and said, "I'm the F out."
Yeah.
See what happens when the queen dies? They all leave. Oh my. All right.
All right. Scott has a question for you.
Air fryer.
Never mind. Let's
Okay.
move on.
Moving on.
What is the airspeed velocity of an unladen swallow?
Ooh.
Well, that depends on which swallow you're talking about, Scott. I would say it's roughly about 2 to 3 miles per hour.
Are we talking about the bird?
We're hoping.
I hope it's the bird.
Blue. No, red.
From earlier comments, just want to say Pam Padalano, good morning, Pam,
Hi,
says
Pam.
Chris is now sounding like a politician.
Oh, boy.
Laughing emoji, laughing emoji, laughing emoji.
Uh-oh.
Well, I learned from the best. And don't worry, Pam. I'm sure with your comment, I will offer you a lot of leeway.
God for leeway. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Makes you feel like it should be like freeway.
Yeah, that's my question to Scott. Scott, what's a leeway? The same as a henway.
So we did have who did we have on this week as far as candidates? This week we had Farouk Rajab, who's running for Senate. We had Brian Lanou.
Brian was on show?
Yep. Brian was on.
Did he answer questions or did he just kind
Brian
of?
was pretty straight up.
See, that's what I like about
Brian was, I mean, and I've seen a lot of change personally in Brian. Like he's looking for his third term.
Mm-hmm.
His first term, it was like he was learning.
Yeah.
He
was
the
skittish.
ropes kind of. He was, but he was learning the ropes. Kind of trial by fire kind of thing.
Yeah.
Right.
And
he graduated. He's no longer a grasshopper.
yeah, no, he came right at it. So
good.
I got to give it to him. There.
I just hope he doesn't move to become a politician. He's kind of
well, you know who has not? I don't feel has become a typical politician is Heather Summers.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you.
You know what I mean? I mean, I've seen her in, a few social situations over the years, and she's the same person.
Yeah.
Mhm.
No,
She's not different. I mean,
She's another one that shoots from the hip.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
If she doesn't know, she'll come right out and tell you. I don't
Mhm.
know.
And then
Yeah.
she'll try to find out too. She will try to find the answer for you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, Mr. Rajab was a very nice guy.
Yeah. Well, they're all
Very
nice guys.
Yeah, he's the Board of Education chair in Stonington.
Gotcha.
And he's the CEO of a large company. So I mean, it's not like he's a schmuck. You know, I mean,
Yeah,
he's
right.
he's got some stuff behind him.
Yeah.
So
Why is he
I'd
running?
like to see.
Did he mention it?
One of the things he talked about was his 3 boys and his 3 adult boys, and how he wants them all. He's to live here in Connecticut. He says and he goes, I love Connecticut. Connecticut's the best state in the union. And he was talking about there's so many things that we can do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would if you're interested. When we watched the interview from yesterday.
Okay.
So, but I mean, he was. We talked to him for about 45, 50 minutes. So we'll have to see. I mean, it's always a race. It's never a sprint.
Yep.
You don't know. How it's going to end up. Like last year, huh, Paul? During the elections, like even in town, we thought it was going to end up one way,
Right.
and it was nothing like that.
I know. You kind of wonder
So-
if it's going to be, maybe it's going to just check the red box along the thing this time.
I don't think that's going to happen this time.
You don't think so?
Next year with the local stuff, I don't think so.
You don't think people are going to vote party line?
No. I think they did once to say, "Oh, let's see what happens." Now they're seeing what happens.
Okay, your prediction.
And I'm not just talking about Griswold. I'm talking about throughout the state.
Your prediction, local politics. Will there be a bigger turnout next year than last year?
It's hard to
No.
say.
No, I don't.
I don't think a lot
so.
of people participate in local
Yeah,
elections.
and I think right now people are just even more apathetic.
I think you're going to find more people voting this year, in next month rather than next year, because next year there really be no major party, no major
Next year,
Yeah,
no, it's next year's going to be like all local stuff.
local.
It's
stuff.
the year after.
Year after 24.
You're going to have state and you're going to have federal.
Yep.
So that's going to be really interesting because the candidates really haven't started to fold out yet.
No.
You you hear rumors and rumblings of who might run,
Right.
or who might not run, or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, Scott Fryer may run.
Kamala
You know,
Harris.
huh?
Kamala Harris.
Oh, Jesus, God help us.
I don't think they're going to have her run.
Mike Pence.
No, he's not going to
No.
run.
He's lining up for it.
No, he's not.
He's not going to make it.
No,
I'm not saying he's going to win. I'm saying he's going to run.
I don't think so.
No,
I
I
don't
I
think-
agree with Paul.
I don't
he's
think.
gonna-
I don't even think Trump's going to make it in there either.
No.
No. No.
What about who's the guy from Florida?
DeSantis. He's
Yeah.
got a shot.
Yep.
A lot of people
He's
like
run
it.
before.
A lot of people, you know, I find a lot of people they get in there due to name recognition.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if they've got a lot of you know, kind of like, I don't want to say clout, but
Yeah.
things that, you know, they get a lot of national attention and they run, then I think it's more name recognition more so than it is.
Well, that's what it is.
The elements of why they're running.
Yeah,
There's been polls that during election times, people will vote for the last name that they see on a banner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
DeSantis is actually a graduate of the Naval Academy. So
yeah,
he actually is a Navy captain or something. He came up, but he was a graduate of. Yeah, it's going to be you got a lot of people moving to Florida.
wasn't Herschel Walker graduate in the Naval Academy?
I don't know.
No.
No, Herschel Walker. No, he's a football player.
Football
right?
player.
Wasn't he football and baseball?
No.
He won the trophy too, right?
It was Bo Jackson.
That's
Yeah.
what I'm thinking.
Yeah,
of.
he won the trophy too, the football trophy. Herschel
Well, he won the
Walker.
Heisman,
trophy, yeah. But apparently they're knocking him down big time.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah.
He's getting picked on big time. Yeah. Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe O.J. Simpson's going to run.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's rumblings of Dwayne the Rock Johnson running.
Yeah.
I'd heard that also.
Yeah. So then you run it on what?
If Jesse the Body Ventura can get elected,
Elected governor of Minnesota.
The Rock is
Yeah.
back.
Sonny Bono.
Mhm.
You know, before he passed.
Yeah.
Kane.
Glenn Jacobs, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking actors / wrestlers that have gone into politics. He's the mayor of Knoxville.
That's because they can make stuff up there.
Well,
too.
that doesn't necessarily mean because they're a wrestler they don't have any brains. I mean, I think a lot of them.
And it doesn't mean because they're a lawyer that they're smart.
No, that's true.
Well, actually, Glenn Jacobs, who wrestled under the name of Kane, the Big Red Machine, for years, amongst other different characters that he played.
Yeah. Well,
But he,
Dr. Yankum.
Isaac Yankum, yeah. And also, well, there was a couple others, but he had a website and a blog for years.
Yeah.
You know, which he ended when he, you know, won his first term as Knoxville mayor. But he called himself Citizen X, and he was always into politics, and he always posted stuff.
Yeah.
And you know what? He'll never be president.
No.
You know why?
Because he doesn't have a pretty smile.
No.
I think you're going to find a lot of people coming out of the woodwork next year.
It's going to be the same thing again. You're going to have 30 different candidates for Republican.
I even heard that possibly the guy that owns the Dallas Mavericks may be running.
Really?
Yeah, the billionaire. He may be running. Yeah. Because he's
Elon Musk.
No,
he won't run.
He can't.
He's not American citizen.
No.
Well, no, he was born. You have to be You have to be born here. Do you
Yes,
not to be?
you have to be
to
born.
be president.
Yes. Yeah, you do.
Everything else, you could be. You could be an immigrant from another country.
You could be naturalized.
Yeah.
Isn't that why Schwarzenegger couldn't run?
Yeah.
Because he wasn't born here. He was born in
Right.
Sweden or wherever.
As a matter of fact, they tried to get their laws changed.
Austria.
Back when
Austria.
So here's one thing, and maybe Scott Fryer can answer this question. Air fryer. If you are born on a U.S. military base in another country,
you're considered a U.S. subject or a U.S. citizen.
okay,
Well,
Yeah.
isn't the base considered part of the states?
Yes.
that's what I thought. But I didn't want to speak out of school,
Yeah.
and
It's just like if you were born on a reservation, that's the reservation.
well, the reason why I say that is you're right. The reason why I say that is because Glenn Jacobs, who's the mayor of Knoxville, Tennessee, and the wrestler, he was born on a base in Japan.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Spain.
Oh,
Yeah. It's same thing with
So-
embassies. If you're born while serving at a U.S. embassy,
Yeah. Gotcha.
well, while your parents are serving at it.
Yeah. So I mean, his parents are citizens, but like I said, his father was in the service. So so he was born on a base in Spain. So I didn't know how that actually worked.
I don't know.
No. Any more questions out there for Ask Chris Anything?
Nobody said anything.
Nobody.
You had a bunch of questions right in a row.
Bring it
so-
on.
Yeah, they're all afraid.
I'm a font of pickle knowledge.
They're all afraid.
So we're still looking for questions for Ask Chris Anything. So one of the topics that we kind of just grazed. We didn't really get into it because I think that's when Brian came in. Because we talked about customer service. And we talked about the lack thereof. You know, did we lose customer service? Is that another thing that we blame the pandemic for?
No.
Do we blame customer service on the fact that people need or companies need employees?
No.
Okay.
I blame poor customer service on capitalism.
I blame poor customer service on poor employees.
I think so.
Well, I having worked at the big box retailers, a number of them.
Me too.
Yeah, I would tell you that back when I was working there, which would have been, early 2000s, they actually had not lessons, but had strict customer service rules in place and enforced them. Walmart had the famous 10-foot rule. Any customer that's within 10 feet of you, you're supposed to say hello to. Home Depot had the same thing. Anytime that you had a customer ask you a question, you always replied with what project are you working on, so that you could sell them the entire project. So the customer service angle was there, but because of capitalism and because they're always trying to do things cheaper, they have pretty much gone away from customer service and made people just little robots running around stocking shelves.
Okay.
So I think as long as it's not enforced, the customer service won't come back.
I think customer service is a cyclical situation. For the longest time, you'd have the mentality within companies saying the customer is always right.
Mm-hmm.
And we know damn well the customer's not always right.
Right.
And even the customers know that the customer's not always right.
Right.
But they use that,
Mm-hmm.
as a tool to try to get what they think that they need.
Right.
I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that at all. I never ever thought the customer was always right, because they're not.
I think part of it also,
As a customer now, I know I'm not always right.
I think part of it also falls on the CEO of the company. And if the CEO is more profit oriented or more customer oriented, because those don't necessarily go hand in hand.
Paul, you have any?
Well, I think there's two types of customer service. One is going into a big box store, but then they have the other one where you have phone customer service.
Mm-hmm.
I think the phone customer service is terrible.
You talking about
on the phone.
If you can speak with a human being at all.
It takes, putting in the VRUs, the voice response systems and stuff like that. Yeah, that's a good idea. That helps cut down on stuff. But to have to wait 20, 30, 40 minutes to talk to somebody to get an answer is ridiculous.
Well, a lot of companies will put those in place just so that you hang up out of frustration.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I've done that many, many times.
Good morning, Corey. Corey says, I think customer service starts with good leadership. When you hire someone with a good attitude, you can train employees to do anything. I think that's very true.
Oh, absolutely. Well, customer service comes from the top. So if you've got a store manager that is big on customer service and actually demonstrates good customer service, I think it's easier to hold the others accountable when he captures them not doing something, or even more when he captures them doing something right. If I'm a store manager and I see one of my associates do well with a customer, I'm going to make sure not only he knows it, but the entire store knows it.
So proper coaching,
Yeah, exactly.
coaching, and attaboy, attagirls, that kind of thing. Because there have been many studies that says that kind of recognition goes further and is more important than getting a raise.
Absolutely.
Because it's kind of like when you're a kid, right? You want to make sure that you don't disappoint your parents.
Right.
Because when you disappoint your parents, if they looked at you and said, Paul, I've given you a lot of leeway and I'm really disappointed in you. Your heart just goes, ugh, right? Instead of, getting your ass whooped.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When you've disappointed.
Yeah.
And I think employees that have a buy-in, and hopefully they don't get jaded along the way due to other employees that are already jaded.
Right. Well, we can also not forget the 80-20 rule in retail. 80% of the work is done by 20% of the employees.
I think that's everywhere.
Yeah, but that also disheartens those employees that are trying to do a good job. If they find that, there's little blueberry patches of people sitting around not doing anything while they're doing all the work, they become disgruntled also.
Laura comment says you can train someone how to do the job, but you can't teach someone how to talk to people or customers. You are either good at customer service or you're not.
I disagree.
Okay.
I disagree with you, Laura. I think that while you can't train someone to give good customer, well, no, see, I think you can train people to how to give good customer service. I think one, it's explaining what the rules and responsibilities are. And then two, I think it's accountability. If they're doing good, you need to tell them they're doing good. So they learn that that's the proper methodology for taking care of their customers.
Court says customer service begins at home. If you have not learned courtesy and respect early on, it's pretty hard.
Golden rule.
Yeah.
That is true.
Treat somebody like you want to be treated.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
I think you can teach customer service to somebody that you may think is having a hard time with it or has some stumbling blocks with it.
Well, I think you can teach customer service to someone that wants to learn customer service.
Right. It's like anything.
Yeah.
If you got a kid there that wants to learn how to weld, you can teach them because they're interested in it, or cars, or a trade, or whatever. Customer service is a trade. I don't care what anybody says. It's a science.
And
it's
that's
a psychology.
And that's where the accountability also comes in. If you catch somebody not doing good customer service, you need to hold them accountable, whether it's just hey, listen, you need to gear up.
Yeah.
Or whether it's coach, fire.
Yeah. The problem today, there's no accountability for anything.
Actually, I think there's a lot more accountability in respect as far as corporate structure. Just ask anybody with an HR department, because HR, maybe doing the job and also the employees that are affected by an HR team, they know that they're going to get a verbal, they're going to get a written, they're going to get a final written, and then there's that possible, even before being fired, there's that last bit of coaching where the powers that be will make a decision right then and there, either to give you another shot or to go ahead and let you go. So it's like a point system. It's like Foxwoods. I mean, the Mohegan Sun. They have a point system. So you can. Can't tell you how many times I've heard from people. I pointed out.
Yep.
Doesn't mean they were bad employees. It could have been that it was just circumstance, and they didn't have the personal time available because something happened in their life or their family.
Sure, and there's those instances, but there's also instances where you coach them and they don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
Paul?
I don't know. I think that a lot.
Statler.
Walter. I don't think a lot of people really want to force people to get rid of them because because what they have to go through in order to do that.
Mhm.
I think they're afraid because, especially in today's world, they're going to come right back at you.
And that comes from the top.
Yeah.
If I've got middle level managers that aren't doing the coach fire, I'm going to start holding them accountable with coach fire.
It's not easy to fire.
It is. Connecticut is a work.
It's an at-will state.
At-will state. Yeah.
But there are still companies like, I can tell you, Verizon Wireless, or now just Verizon. They're all one bubble now, because Verizon and Verizon Wireless were two separate companies at one time. Verizon was a publicly traded. Verizon Wireless was a private company, but then they all came together. Now they're one. But they have coach fire. Do you think evaluations are important?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And they have to be honest, sincere evaluations.
This is how a lot of companies do it now. You evaluate yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And then the supervisor looks at it and it either agrees or disagrees with you. They put a lot of the burden now on your progress on you to fill out the report.
Okay.
Yeah, because if there's a huge variation between what you think of the job you're doing and what your supervisor thinks of the job you're doing, it needs to be brought up at those evaluations. And your supervisor needs to say, no.
See, I think customer service starts with the customer, not the employee.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you come in with an attitude, and first of all, you're gonna put that associate on their heels.
Yep.
And if you keep going at them, they're not gonna want to help you.
Right.
So I've said a million times over, if you want good customer service, be a better customer.
Oh yeah.
If you can't be a better customer, and the days of yelling and screaming at a representative, whether it's on the phone or in person or something like that, to get your way, gone.
I disagree.
Well, as far as getting good customer service, it is. Well, I've had that, and I just sat there. One time, I stood there, and some guy was just yelling at me because his phone was not doing what he wanted, and I just listened and listened, and he just kept going on and on and on and on, and then finally, when he stopped for a minute, I said, "Sir, are you finished?" And he went, "No," and he went on and on and on again. I said, "Okay," so that's all you can do. Right.
Mm-hmm.
But he was yelling at me. And when he was finally done, I said, "Are you finished this time?" And he said, "Yeah." I said, "Good. Can you repeat it? Because you were yelling and I didn't really understand a word you said."
I think it's the customer's responsibility.
The guy's either going to walk out or they're going to punch you at that point. So.
I think it's the customer's responsibility to know who to speak to also. There is absolutely no sense in yelling at the cashier. They didn't put the stuff on the shelf. They didn't put the price tag on it. They didn't do anything. So why are you yelling at somebody who has absolutely nothing?
Well, if you're talking about a big box retailer or something like that, chances are the person that you're dealing with had nothing to do with any of that.
Right. But they start by yelling at the lowest person on the ladder instead of, "Can I see your manager?"
We had a situation with it. It wasn't really a situation. We were playing around. We went to Aldi's, and a friend of mine, his daughter works there. And they walked in, and she went, "Hey, Mike," and I went and said, "Hey, how you doing?" And then while Melissa and I were shopping, there was one of the managers out there, and we just kind of were kidding with her for a minute, and as you're shopping, and that was it. So we get to the checkout, and purposely did not go through my friend's daughter's line.
Mm-hmm.
For one reason, because I was going to bust her balls. So we get there, and I looked at our cashier that we had, who they are fast as
I love all these checkout.
It's a game. It's like, can I beat them? And it's like, and I said, "Can I speak to the manager, please?" In a very, very serious voice. Is there something wrong? "I'd like to speak to the manager, please, if that's possible." Yeah, hold on. That same manager came around. So are you the manager? And yeah. I said, didn't we have conversation out there? And she said, yeah. I said, huh. And she goes, is there something wrong? And I pointed, I said, this cashier rating, meaning my daughter's friend. My friend's daughter. I said, there's a problem. Now she's like, what? And the manager goes, what's that? And I said, you're not paying her enough. I said, you need to give her $5 more an hour. When can we make this happen? I'll get right on it. No. I need to know. When are you going? This girl is worth this kind of money. And then we started teasing each other. And I said, she goes, you were so happy and just joking out there. And I didn't know what to think. You can come back here. And I thought you were going to yell at me. And I'm like, the reason why I told that story is because of the last thing I just said. What the manager had said to me, I was afraid you were going to yell at me.
Mm-hmm.
That happens a lot.
Yeah.
The expectation when somebody says, can I see the manager? Someone's getting yelled at.
Yep.
And it's almost like the pecking order. It's like, can you oust the person that's the top dog in the store? Can you go ahead and master them? So, but they're worried.
I did that at Walmart not too long ago.
Did you really?
Yeah.
But they get concerned. And just as people that are disappointed with whatever they bought or whatever, they come in with, I don't want to say an attitude or just a problem.
Mm-hmm.
The store managers or supervisors or whatever, they're going through the same thoughts. And I don't think it's just a big piece of miscommunication.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, I think if they could somehow figure out a way to solve that, I think you'd have a lot better customer service.
Absolutely.
So, Paul, what do you think? Because you're a grumpy old bastard.
No, I'm not.
You like shopping at Walmart, Paul?
No, if I get upset at a representative, I will apologize to them at the end and say, look, it's not you. And I will tell them that, so.
That's cliche.
Well,
you yell and then you go, oh, it's not you. So you've already dressed them down. By the way, it's not you. That doesn't make me feel any better.
No.
You know what I mean?
See, I automatically ask for the highest level on the ladder that's represented. If I'm having a problem, I don't ask to speak with the department manager or the co-manager. I need to speak with the store manager.
Yeah.
Who's the manager on duty right now?
Well, I think we all have different ways we deal with it, but I still think that to get good customer service, you got to be a good customer.
Absolutely,
I don't disagree with that.
And this is something. It's a science. I mean, this is something you can go on and on and on and on about.
I think that's harder at the big box retailers.
Okay.
Is even if you are a good customer, I don't know if you're going to get good customer service. I think at small retailers, mom and pop places, if you walk in and you're a good customer, yeah, you're going to get great customer service. But you go to a big box where there's no real connection between you and the floor associate you're speaking with, and I don't know if you're necessarily going to get that kind of service.
You know what I think is excellent customer service? Being told no. It's honest. You may not like it. It's like, no, ma'am or sir, that's not how that is supposed to work. But let's see if we can find a different solution.
Right.
I think the word no is very, very powerful, in customer service, because what happens? Now, all of a sudden, that customer, they're back on their heels.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, what do you mean? How dare you tell me no? But then you all of a sudden bring in a solution.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's very.
But they have to know the right answer too.
Exactly, and that comes with listening.
Yeah. For instance, I'll give you a great for instance. Walmart water, the big packages of them, they will at times take I think it's 18 packs and run out of them. So what they will do is they will put 24 packs in where the 18 packs are. According to state statutes, you have to sell it to them at the lower price because it's the store's fault that it's in the wrong spot. Now, if I pick up something on a shelf and go over and put on a different shelf with a different price tag, they don't have to do that because it was a customer's fault that did that.
Yeah.
But when they purposefully plug a hole with something that is typically a higher price with a lower price item, the store is required to sell it to you at that lower price.
Yep.
But if you call an associate over or a store manager or a co-manager, they'll lie to you. Not necessarily lie to you. They will give you misinformation and say, no, you
Because
don't.
they don't know themselves.
Right. And that's what I'm
And
saying.
that's a training issue.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, a lot of times too, they'll put a sale price sticker on at a lower price and then eventually put a full price sticker on. And they go to the counter, there's 2 stickers. By right, they're supposed to pay a lower price.
Yeah, they'll tell you somebody put that in the wrong spot.
Yeah.
They,
But,
they
no, they're
put a
supposed-
full
yeah.
pallet of that in the wrong spot.
Yeah. And the other thing too is a lot of people don't realize, or maybe they do, is if you buy something and it goes on sale, 2 weeks after you can bring it in and get your refund back.
Yeah.
What the difference
They'll,
is.
they'll give you the difference. Well,
Yeah.
Home Depot's good at that.
Yeah.
Price
Home-
protection.
Mhm.
So that's
A lot of times, like for example, I've gone into Petco,
Yeah.
you know, and to get a couple of collars, you know, for the dogs.
Yeah.
And if they're cheaper online, they'll give you the online price.
Yep. Speaking of Petco, Sissy had her spa day yesterday.
Oh, very nice.
She smells and looks wonderful. Her coat is very shiny.
Put a dress on it.
They put a little
Little girl bow or something.
you
scarf.
know, a scarf.
Laura says 90% of the time when a customer asks for a manager, it's because they do want to complain. It's expected and part of the job. I'm always taken aback when customers ask for the manager to compliment on the service or about a specific employee.
Now, see, I will tell you, I do that on a regular basis. If I receive good customer service, I will ask for a member of management so I can praise that person in public.
But remember what I said 5 minutes ago?
Is that what you said 5 minutes ago?
No. What I said about 5 minutes ago is that not just customers are, you know, back on their heels, but the store managers, supervisors, they're
Mhm.
also back on their heels. So they don't know what to expect.
Right.
So customers, they just know to come out guns blazing
Mhm.
to see, you know, how it's going to get deflected.
Well, a lot of the online servers that you do, a lot of them will send you a survey, and they want you to fill the survey out how the person responded to your issues. You know.
And depending on the outcome, those surveys can be good or bad, or I mean, true or not so accurate because they're built on emotion and not necessarily just actually the service that you received or didn't receive. I think you give it a day. I don't like those. Would you like to stay on the line for a brief survey? It's only 2 questions.
No.
You know, I think if you send it a day after,
they do come in. They don't come in right away. They'll come in a day after.
I don't do online surveys because I hate giving my email information
No,
to
they don't have
people
to-
who are
you
going
don't have to give it to
sell
them.
my email information.
You don't have to give it.
Yeah, but Chris, all you do with that, you open up another email address that you use just for that.
Yeah, I
You don't ever have to check it.
Then why would I check it?
You don't.
Then why would I create it?
Because they're going to call you. They're going to call you with an automated system.
So-
Nice one for good customer
So
service.
the easier
Press
thing
2.
is just not to do the online survey.
Well, you could do that too. You could do that too. But that doesn't help anybody. You know, that doesn't help them, you know, develop programs that
If they
maybe
send it to
needs
you,
be
that
done.
means if they send it to you, they have your information.
Right.
So I never give them my name or anything like that. When if somebody's treated me well and they respond, they fix the problem, I will give them, high numbers.
Pam says, Chris, you taught your sons well. I had a good experience with one of them.
Tractor Supply or Walmart?
Yeah. No, I've dealt with I've dealt with one of your sons at the Texas store. The
Tractor Supply?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tractor Supply.
You say
I always call it the
Texas
Texas place.
The Texas
Yeah.
place.
And
Because you walk in there, Texas clothes.
Very good. No, he's good. No, she's right.
He is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Brandon and Corey are good kids. I say good kids. They're in their 30s for crying out loud.
They know Chris's 3 rules of retail too.
Uh-oh.
You want to hear them?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead. Tell me.
Okay. Rule number 1: customers are naturally lazy. They'll put crap anywhere.
No, that's true.
Yep. What's 2?
Rule number 2: Retail is never done. You put stuff on the shelf, they buy stuff off the shelf. You
Yeah.
put stuff on the shelf, they buy the stuff off the shelf.
Job is never done. You're right.
And rule number 3, none of us is as smart as all of us. If you
Yeah.
have an idea, throw it out there because I guarantee you something's going to stick.
Good morning, Christina.
Those are my 3
Yeah.
3 rules.
Very good.
And the kids know them and they practice them. They'll come home, Dad, rule number 1 was broken a lot today.
So we haven't had any questions for Ask Chris Anything in about half an hour. So
Cowards.
whoa, calling you out, people.
That's it. I'm
Calling you
saying
out,
it, you know.
fans.
If you ain't got questions and,
I got a question.
I ain't got answers.
Uh-oh. Is it a
You know,
dad joke
He
question or is it an actual
just looked at
question?
his cell phone.
Where do belly buttons go to college?
The Naval Academy.
Wow.
Oh. Ba-dum-bum.
There you go. That's the correct answer.
The Naval Academy. That's good.
That's right.
That's really good. I'm sitting here thinking, I don't know.
See? Ask Chris.
I have no idea.
Got the answer.
It was
did.
partially a medical question, like no medical stuff.
So we get lambasted with Ask Chris Anything questions at the beginning, and then it all stops.
That's because they don't like my answers.
They
I
never-
never,
never
ever,
know.
ever said that you will like my answers. I said,
If you want to be a good question asker, you've got to
be a good question answerer.
yeah. Christina, do you have any a question for Chris? And ask Chris anything. It can be anything.
Is that Christina with a C or
It's Christina with a C,
okay?
with a CH.
Because back in high school, I dated a Christina with a K.
Yes.
Oh,
They do make him with a K.
You make it sound like you got people on the assembly line, you know. Well, they make them with a K as well.
Christina bots.
Yeah, it comes with 4-wheel drive.
Oh my God.
Moving on.
Yeah. Paul Chuck. Like a true Statler or Waldorf. I left them up there. I was going to put a retirement home behind you guys,
That's all right.
you know. But you won't even go to the senior center. What are you talking about?
Maybe someday.
How old do you have to be to go to the senior center?
55.
Wow.
Yep.
I'm way overdue.
That sounds like a speed limit.
I gotta tell you something. I totally forgot to tell Melissa this. So I was visiting with Rihanna the other day, and you know she lives like an hour away.
Yep.
So, and she was homesick and stuff, so I went and hung out with her. And when I left, I went and I was like, "All right, I got a long drive. I'm gonna get a coffee." So I went into the gas station, and there's a coffee place in there.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to get a medium hot, 3 cream, 2 sugar, please. Okay, no problem. You said a hot coffee, right? Yeah. Yeah. Very nice young girl. And then I look at the register and I see a discount get applied. And it said 15% senior.
Yep. That's the first sign, Mike.
I'm serious.
Next, you're going to start getting AARP
Oh, I do.
mail.
I already do.
Yeah.
I get that stuff in the mail now. The other thing, I forget that I get the ARP stuff.
Plus, he's cutting out coupons now.
Yeah.
No, I haven't done that. And I haven't done that. But I couldn't believe it. And I'm like, huh, 15% senior.
I stopped in a store not too long ago, and I always ask, do you have a military discount? He says, yes, we do, but I can give you a 10% military discount or a 15% senior citizen discount. And I said, I'm really old.
So I was like, wow.
Yeah, not too many places that give you a senior discount.
It never hurts to ask.
Better Value
I didn't
does-
ask.
Better Value does it.
I just
don't know
asked for
about-
coffee.
I don't know about any local businesses around that.
But it never hurts to ask. Any business you go into, senior citizen discount, military discount.
Couldn't believe it. I just looked and I went, you know, I just, you know, but I took the discount.
Damn straight.
And I just took my coffee and I went, huh.
See, getting discounts like that is like getting things tax free.
Yeah,
I guess
pretty
so.
much.
Yeah. So a
So
little extra kick. All right. So, well, we had some good questions for Ask Chris Anything at the
Yeah.
beginning. Talked some candidates and what we thought you can
He's getting
review.
hungry. He's getting hungry.
Waffle time.
It's 20. It's almost the time anyway. We do it
He's
anyway.
getting hungry.
Is it waffle time?
It's waffle time.
Woo!
So if you miss any of the conversations with our candidates that we've had on in the last week, you can go on our Facebook page, our YouTube page. They are there. You can or SNSN News or SNSN Radio. Any of those pages, you'll be able to go ahead and listen to those interviews. And who knows? Maybe you'll get to be familiar with a candidate that you weren't familiar with.
They will be enlightening.
Could be, yeah, could be. So
there.
Sounds good. All right, so
it's waffle time.
We'll see you Monday, Paul.
Yes, I will.
See you next Friday. I don't think it's weird being down here now. In a different location because I'm not outside to see you walking your dog.
Yep.
We're up there. It's like it was very easy. It's
I
here comes Chris.
still walk by and it's like, well, Mike's not out today.
Anyway, we thank everybody for coming in today. Thank you so much for participating in the show. And we will see you once again Monday. And we certainly hope you have a nice and a safe weekend. But I'll be around tonight on TikTok.
Oh, when is Spooktopia this weekend?
Spooktopia is this weekend, yeah. From 6 to 9. Is it tonight?
I don't know.
All right, just show up at the school tonight. If they're there, then you know it's tonight. If not, it'll be tomorrow.
Oh boy.
I believe it's tomorrow.
And if they're not there, drive away.
Yeah, it's at Griswold High School. And it's the traditional Spooktopia. It's not a drive-through like it had been the last couple of years. So. Anyway. All right. Thanks a lot, guys. We'll see you. Goodbye.
Goodbye, better. Much better.
So much better with Burns. The right insurance at the right price. You buy better with Burns.
You buy better at Burns. You buy better.
The Burns Agency knows your insurance needs can change with almost every season. The snowblowers get tucked away, and the motorcycles, boats, and jet skis come out to play. Give yourself a minute. Stop. Think about what new or changing exposures are happening to you. Then call the Burns Agency. Over the phone, in person, or online, we're here for all your policy